So I'll just start. We just we just launched our collaboration together. Uh, how do you feel?
I'm so excited about it. Michelle and I have been, at the same Veg Fest for like over a decade.
Hmm.
I feel like we were some of the early vendors to all of them. And so it's been in my mind for so long to do something together with you guys. Here we are, and I'm stoked that we made it happen this year.
Yeah. We have felt the same. We wanted to work with you for a long time. Ruby was my Ruby, not you. Was very young when your first book came out, and we've always been really upfront with her about why we're vegan. And your book was just told the story and didn't soft sell it, and didn't it gave kids credit.
Yeah,
It gave them like credit for being able to handle stuff and being smart and being able to process information.
those books came about because I was working with kids. I was teaching at an after-school program. I was teaching art, and it wasn't long into my first year that the kids started noticing that I wasn't eating what they were eating during recess. It was public school, so they had a program, and it was string cheese and a little carton of milk and like a waxy apple. And they started asking me questions, and I went to go look for a book that I could bring in and share, and I thought for sure there'd be something out there, but this was 2004.
Hmm.
And when I went to look, I was shocked to find that there really wasn't anything. And there were a couple titles, but they were like about a talking animal or a talking vegetable. And the kids I was working with were like real street smart elementary school kids from first grade to fifth grade. I wasn't going to read them, you know, like a baby book
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like a talking tomato. It just like it wasn't me and it wasn't them. People think kids equals just easy and simple
yeah,
as
yeah.
far as artwork. And maybe that's what I would have thought too. But being like in the trenches with kids and doing art with them, I got into their minds and I got to see how they think about shapes. And so a lot of the artwork in my books is inspired by the way the kids draw. It's like the characters are very geometric and there's almost like graffiti angular shapes,
Yeah.
but they're still somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
And I knew that I didn't have to show the most graphic stuff for kids to understand the motives behind veganism and to get excited about getting on board. They need very little guidance except just straight unemotional facts about what's going on in the world. In the past, this year, 2020, when everybody kind of got lit up about one issue or another, it makes sense that we all start embodying the changes we want to see in this world, starting with ourselves. So veganism is still a big part of my life, and it's a branch of what I do, but it's a big branch. I came to veganism only because I was working on other social justice stuff since high school.
Hmm.
And I majored in college in American Studies and art. American Studies is kind of the underbelly of history through a lens of race, class, gender, sexuality. So I was already interested in that. And then while I was in college, someone pointed out that my eating habits didn't match my morals and my values. I
Yeah.
was like, what do you mean? I was eating like chicken. So it hit me then. I wouldn't have necessarily found it or accepted it if I didn't discover like, oh, that makes no sense that I'm working on this stuff and embodying nothing. I embody nothing. I can
Yeah.
talk, I can do stuff, I can march, which I hate doing now because it's like
Yeah.
the first thing, and this is very, very serious, but I'll say it. My grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and the first thing the Nazis did was march them. And it's like they exhaust them and they break them. And
Mm.
so I don't like marching now because I feel like you're begging corrupt systems to change You can change. We can change it. We can change the markets in 1 second. We can change the flow of money in 1 second.
Yeah.
It's so within our power. They don't even need to be asked, the people at the top. It's on us.
It can be changed because it's run on money.
Yeah.
So if you make your money have an ethical pathway out of your pocket, and you spend your money in good places, and you give it away, and you fundraise for other people, and you do all these other things, you can use that tool. Capitalism is just a dumb tool. It ends up being a bad thing for most everybody, but it doesn't have to be. If you give your money a moral stance in the way you spend it, and raise it and donate it, yeah, you're exactly right. It could change tomorrow.
This intersectionality, I think a lot of people just learned that term this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why part of our collection, that we just did is not just vegan centric. It's a lot of the messaging is be nice to other animals.
Yeah.
And that means humans too.
Yeah.
But in our collection, it's represented by, cute little bunny and cute little chicken, cute little kitty. But kids know what that means. And when you teach kids, they're already naturally interested in animals and nature.
Mm-hmm.
But when you teach them about respect and that they're part of a web and they're part of a community and we expect them to take care of it, just like we take care of them, that kind of thinking and education affects everything in their lives. It affects their relationships, it affects their career eventually, it affects how they cook food, it affects work atmosphere in the community, whatever communities they end up belonging to. So it's really big impact for small bits of a shift.
This was going to be a whimsical little interview.
Yeah. We can't help it.
I know, me neither, obviously. So now we're going to move on to the whimsical part. My original thought was like, okay, I talk too much. And I thought, okay, I got to keep this like 5 minutes so that people won't lose interest. Because people lose interest. I do too. But, and I'm like, well, how many great things happen in 5 minutes, So just give me a list when I ask you these questions.
Okay.
5 things you can't live without that are books, bands, TV shows, movies, or artists.
Okay. Operation Ivy, which I feel like you'll relate to, is one of my favorite. Their album is just one of my favorite of all time ever. Punk was such a teacher in my life early about questioning things. Ferdinand the Bull, the children's book, I think the original by Monroe Leaf and Robert Lawson is one of the most perfect pieces of art ever created. And I still have that in my nightstand. Tank Girl is my favorite,
I see that in your art. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I think it's so creative and so smart. There's so much. Right now I'm really into there's a music show called Chances with Wolves, and they've got a subscription. You can just log on, but they play so much stuff, and their whole goal is to never play anything twice. Oh. And so they are really digging through the crates. That's a new one people might not know of that they should check out. You will love it. It's like old ska and old soul and old R&B and like vintage country stuff. It's all mixed in. It's so cool.
5 art supplies you would absolutely have to take to a desert island.
Okay, I am very simple with my art supplies. I was just doing a live the other day and someone was like, is that a Papermate pencil? And I was like, yes, it is. Very, very simple. So I like a Bic pen. I like just a regular pencil. I do not draw with anything fancy. Regular graphite. And just stacks of paper and ink. Like a quill and an ink.
All right.
If I had to, I would probably could leave color behind forever. Because I just love, I'm such a drawer, drafts woman over a painter. I love line the most.
3 to 5 things people would be surprised to learn about you.
At age 19, I fought a kickboxing match in a ring. It was on live TV, like a local TV station.
Wow.
I have scoliosis, a curvature of the spine. I wore a back brace for 13 plus years, like 20 plus hours a day. I grew up part-time on an organic farm orchard on Kauai.
Oh, wow.
So,
Were you born in Hawaii?
I was made there, but born here. born in LA.
That goes into my last one. 5 favorite things to do in Los Angeles.
Yeah, this might fall into the things people are surprised about. I hesitate to call myself a dancer because I respect actual dancers, but I've been a member of a dance studio for like 10 plus years.
Oh, wow.
So samba,
You're
like
a dancer.
No one who goes
with people for 10 years.
No, there are studios here where like everyone's in between their Beyonce auditions. It is not that. Like no one at this studio is going to auditions. Everyone's there to have fun and like work out. So samba and dance hall, like Jamaican dance hall stuff.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and some salsa too. The Hollywood Farmers Market is one of the biggest and best farmers markets I've ever been to. When people come to LA, they should go on Sundays. Still happening throughout COVID, taking care of everybody. I love the downtown district. I don't ever want to live there. I don't like hanging out down there, but there's so many resources. It's kind of amazing, like for artists. All my screen printing friends down there and printing. That's one of the biggest things that would be hard to leave LA. Like any creative thing that I've ever thought of doing, I can do pretty much locally because they hear book binding, book printing, all that stuff. There's so much veganism here. Some of the best grocery stores that have like the wildest stuff, even if it's the most expensive stuff, it's like they're all here.
Mm-hmm.
So we get them first. Maybe we do in New York, and maybe you guys up there too. It's not a thing, but the way you can drive from one side of LA to another and pass through a billion different little worlds, whether it's Koreatown or our little Armenia to like, Beverly Hills rich places to Skid Row is like, you never forget all kinds of humanity, and there's no bubble.
Yeah.
It's in your face. It's all in your face all the time.
All right. Those are all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I'm excited for everybody to check out what we've done together. And,
yes. So excited.
We'll all just keep working for the good.
All right. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thanks, Ruby. Bye.
Bye.